Hello everybody and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions for a very special edition of League One predictions. Why is it very special? Right, before we dive into this, and League One is getting more and more miserable by the week for me, what I want to say is please put your predictions down below as well and play along, and whoever does, we will shout them out in the next video, at the start of the next video, and give you like all the praise or basically slag you off if you've done badly. I think we know what we'll be doing there. But anyway, like, subscribe and all that jazz, because we're going to jump into the very first game happening on week of Saturday, 25th of September, which is Burton Albion versus Lincoln City.
Ian, it's a battle of the losers this week. Both Burton Albion lost and Lincoln City lost. Not great for either of them. A big loss for Lincoln against what I would think is a promotion rival in Ipswich Town. How do you see this game going?
Yeah, a bit of a shock really, Burton, wasn't it? We didn't expect to see that result coming at all against Crewe, and Lincoln, the season continues to be a bit of a licorice all sorts at the moment, and it's a mixed bag.
Yeah.
Don't know. I can see this one being a draw, really. I'm going to go for a nice 1-1 draw at the Pirelli.
It annoys me how similar we are. 1-1 draw. Cambridge United versus Fleetwood Town.
What a win for Cambridge, Thomas, before we have to drag ourselves and talk about Fleetwood. What a win for Cambridge.
Huge.
What a result, going all the way down to Fratton Park. Superb 2-0 win after you had that kicking the week before. What a response. What a response.
What a response.
Yeah, so they'll be looking to get back-to-back wins here. Fleetwood, 2 good results in a row now. You have to say fair play to them after a pretty bad start. They had a great result against Rotherham. Looked like they were dead and buried against Sunderland, but came back to 2-2. So I don't know what to call in this one.
I just want to say that this is one of those times where I want to relive the US Post and say, Fleetwood win, 2-2 draw. Against Sunderland. I have got Cambridge United winning 2-1.
I literally just got that. That went miles over my head to start with. But
USA win, 1-1 draw.
Yeah, no, I got it now. Cambridge to win, 2-1.
Okay, so we both copied 2 straight results. Let's move swiftly on to Charlton Athletic versus, not them again.
Let's see if we can do it. No, go on, say the name. You better say the name of the team.
Portsmouth.
Let's see if we can get it on the... You say your score after 3. 1, 2, 3. 1-0. Oh, we did went to different scores this time. Look, Charlton, it's terrible. It is terrible. They're so bad. They are.
Yeah, but so are Pompey. It's incredible. Both of these teams have been absolute garbage. Both of them should be near the top of the table. Neither of them can get a result together. Portsmouth lost to Cambridge, the team we just talked. I mean, how is that happening? Honestly, like, Cheltenham beating Oxford, fine. Like, but Portsmouth are supposed to be a top 3 side this season. They're supposed to be a top 3 side every year. Ronan Curtis is still there.
I keep telling you, Tom, I don't rate the Cowleys. I think they're overrated.
Well,
I think they did a good job at Lincoln, and I think they're just going to live and dine out on that reputation for a while, and I'm not sold on them. But I'm going for a Pompey win. No, I'm going to go for a draw, hoping that my reverse psychology gives Charlton the win here. 0-0.
I'm going for a 2-1 victory.
Ipswich Town versus Sheffield Wednesday. Big game. Big game.
Huge win for Ipswich this week to turn it around. They've had a really poor start to the year, but they beat Lincoln City, who we said earlier in this is a promotion contender. Ipswich really should be fighting for the title. But Wednesday had a 1-1 draw against Shrewsbury, but Saido Berahino, the lesser-seen Berahino, scored. He's in the League One now. I had not even noticed.
Tony Pulis will be delighted. He's been trying to get a tune out of him for years. What a massive game for League One, though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Ipswich versus Sheffield Wednesday is a massive game. Should be a cracker down there. Should be a great atmosphere. Look, I'm going to go for a Wednesday win in this one, and again, my reverse psychology worked, Ipswich fans, so you should be thanking me that I backed Lincoln to win and it got your first win of the season. Let's go for a Wednesday win here. Let's go for Ipswich 0, Wednesday 2.
Ipswich second on the bounce, 1-0 victory. MK Dons versus Wycombe Wanderers.
Who can possibly predict the Milton Keynes Dons, Thomas? They had a wonderful victory over Gillingham, but it all hinged on the pivotal man getting sent off for Gillingham,
right,
who we'll talk about a bit later on, but they ended up coming from a goal down to get a fantastic 4-1 win. Wycombe with another strong showing, 2-1 win. They look great. They
do.
look really solid and strong and hard to beat. I think this one's going to be a very tight game. 1 goal in it, but I'm going for a Wycombe win, 1-0.
2-1 MK Dons. Morecambe versus Accrington Stanley.
Good pronunciation, as always, Thomas. And tell me a little bit about Morecambe.
So Morecambe are new in the league this year, and they lost to the Donny Bells or Rovers.
That is almost the unforgivable sin.
It is, and Doncaster have been absolutely awful this year. Morecambe have had an alright start. They are not in the relegation zone as we speak. But my boys at Accrington Stanley have had a bit of a tough time today, Ian. They've had a really tough time.
Yeah, it's one of those results. You know, we talked about League One, didn't we? Sometimes you just get rolled, and they don't often happen. But Accrington probably have more of those games at home than they do away. They seem to be such a harder side to beat on the road when like the teams are against them. But I see this one being tight and close as well.
You would genuinely think in this game, but on 3, we both say our scoreline.
Yeah, go for it.
3,
1, 2, 3.
1-0
Accrington. Yeah.
There you go.
Plymouth Argyle
Green Army
versus Doncaster Rovers.
4 Bells. So, the Bells got a much-needed victory 1-0. And by the way, when I say Bells, I'm not making fun of the men's team for being the women's team. I'm basically saying the women's team could beat the men's team, and maybe they should start running them out.
Either way, you're making fun of the men's
making fun of the men's team, no matter what.
Yeah.
No matter what.
There's no positive spin on it.
No. Well done, Bells. But they got a big victory, 1-0 this week. I don't think either of us really saw that coming, but they did beat Morecambe.
They've been so bad. You can't predict them to win games until they actually started to win them.
Yeah.
Like they needed any kind of a win, and this 1-0 win over Morecambe will seem like the greatest victory at the moment for Doncaster because they've been so poor lately. But they are coming up against all conquering, all singing, all dancing Plymouth.
Another big win for Plymouth this week, and by big I mean just beating a good team. AFC Wimbledon have been on fire this season to start the year, but Plymouth pulled off a 1-0 victory, a goal just after the second half started by Hardy. And they are looking really good this year. Really hot.
Good. And I don't see Doncaster making this back-to-back wins. I think, especially at home, and I say this a lot, but I just think that's going to be a bit of a fortress this year at Home Park. And I see Plymouth quite comfortable winners here. I'm going 2-0.
3-1. Rotherham United versus Crewe Alexandra.
Well, Crewe were another one of those sides that really needed a win, and we didn't see them getting a win, and they got it, so great result for them. But I think Rotherham are going to be too strong for them here without getting into it. Them themselves had a good result after that bad loss. They've got back to what we would expect, really, with a pretty solid win over Bolton. Yeah. And I would expect Rotherham to win this game, so I'm going to go for another 2-0 home win for Rotherham.
I'm going to go 2-0, and we talk about this every week. Rotherham like to make it hard for themselves, but I think that victory this week...
One day I'm going to make you back those stats up, because I think that's just something you've plucked out of the ether of, like...
I'll see you next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure where you've got that.
Prepare yourself for 38 weeks of this.
Apparently you made it hard for yourselves. But we roll on to Shrewsbury Town, who definitely make it hard for themselves against Athletic Football Club.
So Shrewsbury had a really good result, a 1-1 draw with Wednesday. They're probably feeling pretty good about themselves right now. AFC Wimbledon seething a little bit from their 1-0 loss, but like we said, Plymouth have been absolutely fantastic this season, so there's that. I can't see past Wimbledon this season.
Yeah, I'm going to back Wimbledon again. I think the biggest surprise, Wimbledon fans will probably think they didn't score. They've been so free scoring this season. It's surprising that they got shut out. But Shrewsbury, despite the good result, I still think they're looking a bit lacklustre this season, and I think Wimbledon will get a 2-1 win that time. We're probably going to go for the same score.
Exactly.
We've got a lot of same scores this week.
Ian, it's time for a big one. It's Sunderland versus Bolton Wanderers.
I know, we talked about Ipswich Wednesday being a big game. It's another big game, Sunderland versus Bolton.
Huge.
Bolton had a good start. Didn't have the great result against Rotherham, but that's kind of been a bit of a blip in the road for them. Sunderland, how many times have we said it? How many times do you do this? It doesn't matter where you are in the league. It doesn't matter how you're getting on. You love to throw these points away. How
Fleetwood.
did you take
To
a
Fleetwood.
2-0 win?
To Fleetwood!
It was in the bag.
You'd won! It was
in the
over!
bag.
Come
it was
on!
so easy. And you blew it against Fleetwood Town. How did you do it? But you find ways to do it, don't you? And I think Bolton will get a point here. Let's go for a classic Sunderland. 1-1.
I'm gonna keep doing it, and it will continually derail my predictions. Sunderland to win 2-1.
Wigan Athletic, Cheltenham Town.
Two giants of the English footballing game. Wigan having an absolutely sensational season, but Cheltenham Town with a historic victory over Oxford United. 1-0, outplayed them, ran riot at times. It was a masterful performance. No, it wasn't. Wigan are going to win this. I'm going to go 5-0.
Look, Cheltenham deserved that win over Oxford. We watched the game, we did a live stream on it, we did a review on it. You can go and check that out on the channel right there. But it was a poor game, but Cheltenham won that poor game, so that's all that really matters from their point of view. Wigan are a completely different prospect to Oxford, though. They look extremely strong, very hard to beat. They've had a great start, like you said, and you can't really look beyond them in this one. There's been a few cut and dry home wins. I think this is going to be another one. I'm going 2-0 to the Pie Boys. Pie Men.
5-0 to Wigan.
Wow. Oh, it pains me. We roll round to the game that everybody wants to hear us talk about, Thomas, so we must appease our fans. It's time for the main event.
Oxford United hosting O'Keefe-less Gillingham.
That could be the key to everything in this game, but it's been a few bad weeks now, Oxford United fans. It started with a bad away performance against Wimbledon in the second half. We carried that on against Wycombe, and we carried that on against Cheltenham. You seem to be getting worse, not getting better. We talked about it to death, but the game plan seems to go completely out the window, regardless of Carl Robinson thinking that we played well. The passing was poor, the set pieces were poor, the general creativity was poor, and when you're like that, you're always going to be suspect to any sort of rogue attack from the opposition can come and beat you when you're struggling to stick the ball in the net. And that's what happened against Cheltenham Town. This Gillingham side is going to be very hard to play against, like last season. Oxford sort of pulled a rabbit out of the hat to beat them 3-2, but other than that, Gillingham should have beat us on that day, and this will be another tough game for sure. They've got players that can hurt us, like Oliver up front, and they're going to dominate. They're going to put pressure on us from set pieces and long throw-ins all the way through the game. So hopefully Oxford can get a win. I have to back them. Let's try and say Oxford scrape through 2-1.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. 1-0 to the Gills. You garbage.
Even without O'Keefe?
You garbage. You're going down, lad.
But Thomas, look at what happened when you took O'Keefe out of that Gillingham side. They folded quicker than Superman on laundry day.
And with that, it's time to say goodbye. Please do not forget to like this video, hit subscribe, check us out. We try and do live streams at least every other week of games, so we're not 100% sure when our next one is. Check us out in 1 week's time when we go and we see Sheffield Wednesday host Oxford United. Consider supporting us on Patreon. It's how we get the money to go to games like Sheffield United versus Oxford. We love you all. Thank you, Matthew Bowden, PJ Simpson, Christina Allen, Robert Allen. Thank you to Grandstand Bettors who've supported us since we started as a channel. You guys are the best. If you're looking for great tips, check them out. They do some fantastic live streams. I believe currently they are at a Browns game, Notre Dame, Cubs, Phillies, Marlins. I don't even know anymore.
All of them above.
Thank you for watching. We'll see you next week.